Sources tell CNN that U.S. Attorney General Bondi told President Trump that his name was in the Epstein files. Let's bring in CNN's Jeff Zeleny at the White House. Jeff?
Jake, we are learning this evening that the president was briefed, as you said, by his Attorney General Pam Bondi back in May that his name was mentioned in the Epstein files. That is what we do know. What we do not know is the context in which his name appeared. Of course, it has long been established that the president was a longtime friend of Jeffrey Epstein back in the 1990s in New York. They were featured at many parties together. Jeffrey Epstein attended one of Donald Trump's weddings at least, and on from there. But what this does is return the questions, the unanswered questions, back to the White House. The White House, of course, has been working overtime trying to change the subject with the deflection, with the distraction. But what this shows is that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, told the president that, look, your name is mentioned in here. Of course, several other names, many other names are mentioned in these volumes of files, but it does not answer the questions that still remain about this entire matter. Now, White House officials are telling us, look, this is not surprising. The president knew his name would be in there, but they are saying that he did nothing wrong. Of course, the president severed his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein over a real estate fight in Florida in the mid-2000s here. But what this does, again, return the conversation back to the president's name being in the files. Of course, the files have not been released. There's been an uproar over that, and many people are wondering if it is because of the Trump mentions in here. Again, we don't know the context of how many times his name appears, but we do know the president was briefed on this by his Attorney General.
Yeah, we should reiterate, this doesn't mean he did anything wrong. There's a lot of hearsay in investigative documents by definition, but it's sure interesting.
I mean, you'd have to have your head in the sand to say that this is going to go away. It's not.
Republican Congressman Ralph Norman, among many GOP lawmakers, acknowledging the uproar over the Jeffrey Epstein files isn't likely to die down anytime soon. This amid news that Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Donald Trump in May that his name appeared in documents related to the Epstein case, according to sources familiar with the discussion. That conflicts with what Trump said when he was asked about it last week.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
It's not clear how significant the references to Trump are in the files, which Bondi said also contain the names of other high-profile figures, according to White House officials. And a White House official pointed out there's no evidence Trump was involved in wrongdoing. Meanwhile, in a surprise move, a House Oversight Subcommittee voted Wednesday to subpoena the Department of Justice for access to the Epstein files. And House Oversight Chair James Comer subpoenaed Jeffrey Epstein's former associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted of crimes including child sex trafficking related to Epstein. She's set to be deposed in prison August 11th. Also, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche is expected to meet with Maxwell Thursday. Two people familiar with the meeting told CNN. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Hey there, you know, when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein story, Donald Trump may want it to go away, but American interest in the story is sky high. What are we talking about? Take a look at Google searches for Epstein over the last 24 hours. Get this, up 1,900% versus a week ago. Holy Toledo. It's currently the top topic being searched with Donald Trump's name. And of course, this is a story that unites a lot of different factions of the MAGA base on the far right. We're talking about Steve Bannon and Elon Musk, who are normally at each other's throats. But even they are combined asking the question, what the heck is going on here? So this is a story that is not leaving the news stream, despite Donald Trump's hoping and wishing that it does. Now, you see this up 1,900%, but let's put into some context for you. What are we talking about here? Well, take a look here. Epstein has been Googled a lot today, a lot. In fact, compare it to some other stories that have been in the news. Get this. It's been Googled, get this, 4 times as often as Grok has been Googled. Of course, Grok, the AI part of Twitter, went off in its own direction, started spewing anti-Semitic garbage. But Grok doesn't have anything in terms of how much it's being Googled compared to Jeffrey Epstein. How about more than tariffs? Of course, tariffs have been very much in the news with Donald Trump threatening to levy more tariffs on foreign countries. But get this, Epstein has been Googled 7.6 times as often as tariffs have been today. Again, this is bad news for Donald Trump. He wants it out of the news cycle. Donald Trump has made a massive error bringing it back in, and he doesn't seem to know how to get out of it. Now, of course, the key question is, will there in fact be more reveals? Will there in fact be more releases of the Epstein files? Of course, at this particular point, it doesn't necessarily look like it, and that is why portions of the far right are so upset. But when it comes to the betting markets, Trump releasing more Epstein files in 2025, get this. Back, you go 2 months ago, it was 40% that there would be more Epstein files released. A month ago, 39%. Now, it's down to just 21%. And I think the conventional wisdom that is being measured by the betting markets really gets at what a big problem this is for Donald Trump, because there are real members of his base who really believe that there should be more files released and that there would be something contained within those files that would be something that would be very revelatory. But the bottom line, at this particular point, Donald Trump is basically saying there really isn't anything there. That is what his administration is saying. And at this particular point, it doesn't look like more files will be released in 2025, at least according to the betting markets. And at this point, the more that this story stays in the news, the worse it is for Donald Trump.